So, hello everybody. This is Tenacious Earl with a little different video tonight. So, a few weeks ago, I received History Maker Golf, and unfortunately, I haven't had as much time to play it as I'd like. Obviously, being a part of the Tabletop Baseball channel, there's been a lot going on. We've got a couple things that have happened. With the Patreon accounts and such. So and it's just trying to keep stuff going with these other projects that I really wanted to start showing off History Maker Golf a bit, and it's just been really tough to set things aside and say, okay, we're going to do it. Well, tonight I decided this is the best way for me to do it at this point. Let's just say there's not a whole lot of setup time that you need for this game. But what I decided to do is I'm going to take three golfers. What I have is the 2000s set, 2000 stars. So there'll be some names that you, if you're a golf fan, you may remember. And if you don't, then they may not mean much to you. But maybe I'll try to introduce each player a bit. But in any event, these are not the top players because I figure... Sometimes I feel like when you go with a player who is like really good, I don't know. Sure, it's a calling card, but I guess I kind of like back markers in a way. So hi, Mark. So bear with me. I just thought the best way to maybe get through this is to play a game and try to describe what we're doing. I'm going to do at least 9 holes here, maybe try as many as 18 depending on how long it takes. So just a quick introduction. And maybe the best thing to do is to turn this over, and first I need to see how this setup looks and how it's going to work out. Because I'm going to use my dice box. And so, okay, so we can pretty much get everything into the screen here. I don't even need as much of the clipboard as I'm showing. And I have some room. I have some room up here as well, so this can kind of help. All right. So... the main, so the main, I'm going to, just a moment. So, I mean, the main parts of this game are obviously the dice. Now, you have a few more dice than in most games. You have 4, most of the History Maker games. Well, I don't know. I haven't played too many History Maker games, so there may be more dice in other games. I know in History Maker Baseball, there's 3 colored dice, and the decider. In golf, there are 4 and the decider. So when it comes, and then there is a book, which is this. It's basically similar to the baseball book that has a lot of game action. Each page, the first 3 pages deal with, so they have one for par 3s, one for par 4s, one for par 5s. This is if the golfer is in control of the hole. And then they have a bunch of other ones that kind of go back from when the hole has control. So let's describe this. What would happen is, and so what you do is before each hole, and so like in golf, what I've done here is arbitrarily put down the 3 golfers I'm going to be using. Scott Hoch, who his claim to fame is missing a gimme putt to win the Masters back in the 80s. I forget which year, and I believe that was eventually won by Nick Faldo. Nick Price was a regular on tour and regularly got plenty of wins, and I believe he won a PGA championship in his career. But I think that may have been his only major. David Duval, he was an up-and-comer. I believe he won a British Open. He also got one of the first, I believe one of the first televised 59 games, or 59 rounds, excuse me. So, and I believe that was out at the Bob Hope, potentially. If my memory is serving me correctly. So, in any regard, let's talk about this. So we have 4 dice that really play the biggest part. The decider die, from what I found, I roll it pretty much only when we have a question. So similarly to History Maker Baseball, if you've been following any of those games, players get qualities, and so here golfers get qualities. As you can see, some of them are straight up. Like Nick Price is a scatter wood guy, which means he probably sprays his woods a bit. We're going to find some rough in cases. And then you get half qualities, such as Hoke with Legend on the woods and half King. So what that means is that when we hit one of those and you need to decide, you roll the decider die, which is effectively a D2. 3 of the sides of the D6 have dots, and 3 of them don't. If you can see it there. Trust me, it's like that. So when you start a hole, so in this case, we've arbitrarily picked these, but in golf, in real life, and this is the way that I play it in this casual round, whoever gets the lowest score on a hole will have the honor for the next hole, and then the next lowest score goes, and then the highest score in this case, because we have a threesome here. So you would roll the dice, and what will happen is that you have a hole card, and then you have the player cards. The hole card really does the first determination, because if you can see here, let's take a look. So this is at Kapalua, Hawaii, which they have to use. They tend to use generic names for these, I think, because they don't license at play. They don't license the names, so to speak. So it's understandable. But if you see here, right off the bat, you have these designations, which means that. So that comes off the white die. So what this is going to do is your first determination is whether the hole dictates how the hole is scored for the player. And I think that's a neat way to do it, as far as I'm concerned, because a hole can really, it can really challenge a player, and there are plenty of players that can overcome that, but and I think once the hole, from what I could tell in the few times I've played, when the hole dictates it, it really then starts to shine the light on whether the player can overcome the challenges the hole brings. Vice versa. So let's just roll the white die for a second here. So if you roll this 1 through 5, and that's a 3, the hole would dictate, and then from there we do a little bit more digging, and then I'll show you more about that. So let me pick a different hole. So that's hole number 1. Hole number 18, if you see here, only the 5 would bring the hole dictates it. Which then means that it's the golfer's qualities that really do end up shining through in the end, but there still are some hole aspects that can come into it. Just like anything in a sports game, just because one player, like let's say in Stratomatic, the pitcher's card or the batter's card, just because it's that does not mean that player is going to succeed just because it ends up on their card. Just because the hole dictates doesn't mean that the hole is going to win out over the player. And vice versa, if the player dictates it, it doesn't mean that the player has a huge advantage. Some of what you do in this game is decide when to. There are some strategy elements where you can decide to try and give the player control or the hole control based on your view of how the hole stacks up. And I'll show you some of that as we go. So that's sort of a minor, quick gloss over of that. Now what we would do each roll in this game is you roll the 4 dice. The white one determines whether it's the hole or the golfer that will ultimately play it out. So when it's the golfer control, then it's those first 3 pages that I showed you most of the time that are par 3, par 4, or par 5, and it really goes through and checks out the player's qualities. When it's the hole that dictates, there are a number of combinations that come from the black and the silver die, or black and metallic. And what you do is, just like in History Maker, you line them up from lowest to highest. And so, like in this case here, it'd be 3-5. You look over here at the 3-5, and that means it's going to be the course. Circle is green. So what that means is that it's the green. It's the what they call the golf cam. There's a number of mini charts. That would be golf cam green, which means that the golfer probably got to the green. And so this would be a good result for someone to get on 24 usually. this is the course, which means usually that it's a pretty decent result, but it's not as good as being on the green. And you'll see when we play through this. Then there are some other things such as the rough. So these, let me see. I'll move it up closer so it's a little clearer. So we have these guys here, which are rough. You have these little diamonds with dots. That's the bunkers and the sand. There are some trees. Let me see if I can find one with a tree designation. And the funny thing is about Kapalua is as far as I can tell, there's no water on the course. Even though it is in Hawaii, and you think, oh boy, that would be a place where you maybe would run into some water. It's a pretty dry course. So here is the trees. It looks like a couple of leaves right there. Leaves. I said leaves. Leaves on the 55. So, okay, let's just go ahead and play, and I'll walk you through each step. You get some other things too in the game real quick. You get some charts that sort of are nice little, what do you want to call it? Cheat sheets in a way. You get another one here. And so let's just roll out and we'll, the step by step, should be able to hash out some of the things. So Scott Hoch will tee off here at number 1 and we'll be first to go. So it's a 5. So again, that means, so the 6 is a special designation. That would mean that on this tough hole, and we'll run into a 6 at some point, but it's got it's special. It's not quick, it's not completely a golfer control. But so anyway, the hole controls it, and we go with the metallic, which it may be tough for you to see. The metallic and the black together. That was a 16. So that means he's going to be in the sand on his first shot, if you can see it here. So that's the little diamond with the dots and then a 1. So that means on his first shot on the par 4, he ends up in the rough. And so then the green die will ultimately decide which, and it tends to be the higher the worse, from what I can tell. So let's go to what is called the Golf Cam sand chart. And so it's this par 4 sand results. And the 4.1 is when it's the tee shot. So so he's in the sand off the tee, and you go to 6. So is Scott Hoch sandy? So you have to look over his card, and it's usually, I believe, in the recovery section for sandy. He is not. So otherwise, troublesome departure from the trap, third shot to the periphery of the green, a double difficult putt for par. Okay, so that's where we're going to stand. So he's going to have a putt for 4 that is double difficult. And so what does this mean? Let me move these guys out of the way because we have to re-roll what do we re-roll? That usually tells you to re-roll the, I believe, the green die. Or maybe it's the white die. I think it's the white die because that means the very least at the very end. But anyway, so here's this little chart I'm telling you about. So you've got all sorts of designations. There's 5 of them. Double difficult all the way down to gimme. And so, and then the scores. So you've got from eagle up to double bogey. A double difficult eagle putt is pretty difficult. They factor in maybe a little bit of nerves as well as the birdie and maybe frequency that you actually see a really difficult. This is probably like anywhere past 60 or 70 feet, I would say, and winding would be double difficult. So what happens is, we've got a double difficult putt for par. You roll, and so this is where you make it. What's in this circle here is the make shot. So if you re-roll the white die and it's a 1, you would make the putt, and I believe that the double difficult putt earns you one of these blue chips, and I'll discuss the blue chips more. There's blue chips and red chips. That are the strategy elements I'm telling you about. So let's say you missed it. You then kind of work upwards diagonally on this chart. So then you'd have a difficult putt for par. If you miss that, you'd have a moderate putt for double. Or wait. So 1 would be double difficult for par. 1 to 3 for bogey. Difficult putt for bogey. 1 to 5 would be a moderate putt for double bogey. Now there is something that you can do in this situation. You could do 2 things. One is you could use one of these strategy chips, and that helps you. The other thing you can do is you can lag And what that allows you to do is that if you say you're going to lag a putt, something that's double difficult, your next putt will be easy, but you have no shot of making the first putt. So in this case, for a golfer who has a double difficult putt for par, a lot of times what they're going to say is, okay, I'm not going to be able to make that. That's a 1 in 6 chance. Instead, what I'll do is I will take the lag, and then I'll have an easy putt for bogey, which would be so in that case, what this means is that if you have to miss it, you have to hit double sixes when you roll 2 dice. A gimme putt in these cases is you have to roll 3 dice, and they all have to be 6s to be a miss. So let's do this here. We're going to have to roll 2 6s for it to miss, and he makes the bogey putt. And so that's that for the first golfer. Scott Hoch will bogey, and it's a tough hole, so it's understandable. So Nick Price now will be at the tee. And so again, a 3 means that the 6 would have been the one roll that would take it away from the hole's control. So then a 4 and a 6, so 46. So that means he's in the rough on one. I'm not sure if anybody can see this, but we'll assume you can. It's this little flower-looking icon with a 1 next to it. So on his first shot, and again, a green 6, which means we're going to have, it's usually the worst, I'll say the worst luck of them all. So here is your golf cam rough. And again, we want to go to the par 4. It's the first shot. Is he a master? So this is where we now, because recovery-wise, Nick Price is a semi-master. We rolled the this is when I like to roll the decider die, and he is a master. So TV-friendly shot sends the ball to the periphery of the green. Double difficult putt for birdie. Okay? So he has a chance at a birdie, and he will roll the white die for that. Now, it's double difficult, which means, as you can see, you not only have to get a 1, but you also have to get the decider die to show in order to make that putt. So now if he misses it, he's going to have a difficult putt for par, right? So again, a lag here in the early going is probably a wise move, and he will do that. And what that means is that then he moves to an easy putt for par, which means that you have to roll 2 6s to miss, and there's a 4 and a 6, so he gets lucky, but he gets a par to open. And now we will go with David Duval. You could roll the decider die along with the other 4. I prefer to have it kind of come up on its own. So here we go. And there's a 4. So again, we go to 56 on the hole card, and again, that's his first shot finds the rough. And another 6 on the green. So is Duval a master? He is not a master of recovering. So troublesome lie produces an uncomfortable shot. Follow-up iron to the fringe of the green. Double difficult putt for par. So he's in the same situation as Scott Hoch was. So let's just say that he wants to. He's feeling lucky today, and he's going to try and take this out. Now I want to check something here. Yeah. So he's going to try to make this. He needs a 1 to make par. If anybody's a David Duval fan, I apologize already because I've kind of but Duval is a bit of an impetuous guy. He's going to take a stab at this. He'd love to get on the board early and try to get par and keep pace with Price. And it's a 4, so he misses the putt. And now he has, I don't know, can I put, I guess I can put it down here a bit, but I'll just bring it out. So now he's got the difficult putt for bogey, 1 to 3. Now he could lag the bogey putt to make sure he has a gimme for double, but instead he's going to go ahead and roll for bogey, and he makes it. So, and I like to put squares around my bogey so it's easier to count them. And so we've completed hole 1, and it's been a little long here because I'm explaining, but that is hole 1. Now hole 2 is another hole that will often, almost all the time, end up with hole control. Now what I like to do at this point, here's another thing. So the blue chips that I was telling you about. If you make a double difficult putt, or there's also clutch putts, if you make either of those, and actually here is another chart that can help with the putting. But if you make a double difficult or a clutch putt, and I'll show you, the clutch putt comes off of some other what do you want to call it, attributes. But anyway, you get a blue chip, which allows you to have control of some things. You can downgrade a putt, or rather upgrade a putt. Let's say you could take a difficult par putt and make it a moderate par putt if you play a blue chip. You can do some other things too. You can actually give yourself control of the hole. You can also set up some things. But so what I do here as we go to the next hole is I tend to move the order so that way I remember, because I want Price now, because he has honor, to go first on the second hole, and then Hoke, because he was the first to go on the first, will continue to have the honor even though he tied with Duval. So here's Price on hole number 2. So this is a par 3. I meant to write these all out, all the pars, but let's just keep moving here. So there is a 4, again, hole control. 26, he will get on the course, the Golf Cam course chart here. So let's go to that. So that's the green chart, and this is the course chart. So he's got a 5 here, so we go to par 3 holes. Is it a cordial hole? No. It's actually kind of a tough hole here. So he won't get that. Is it a daunting hole? It's not that either. So make this one and move on. An easy. Now there's no. This is another thing. So you see this little caution. Because if it has this little triangle with an exclamation point in it, it wouldn't be easy. Instead, it would be moderate. But instead, because there's none of those, there's no that designation isn't there. It's an easy putt for par. So that's a 6-6. To miss, so he will take that and move on. Par 3 for him, and he's still at even par. So let's go to Scott Hoke. So there is a 2 and a 55. So that is another course chart with a. Okay. So here's something specific to this card. So these guys right here have, and also one here has, a little star next to it, which says here, on the decide or die bullet, wind sends the tee shot into the weeds. So let's roll it out. So he is able to use the course chart here, and with a 3 on the green die, we now look, is it a cordial hole? Remember, it's not cordial or daunting, so we come over here, missed green, but nicely wedged, a clutch putt for par. Okay. I wish I had picked somebody who had a putting designation, but I was just noticing here that none of them have a clutch putting designation. So, to go for clutch putts, gold is 1 to 5, neutral is 1 to 3, rust is 1. You can do one of two things if you have semi-gold or semi-rust. You could either roll the decide or die to get the 1 for 5 if you get the dot, or 1 to 3 if you don't, if it's semi-gold, and vice versa if it's semi-rust. Or you can just automatically say they're 1 to 4 or 1 to 2. But and again, if Hoke makes this putt for par as a neutral guy, so he's got to putt it this way. If he does that, then he will earn a blue chip. So let's roll it out. 1 to 3, and he will make a par. And that's a 4, so he misses it. He will get a red chip instead. And from there, you end up with an easy. I want to double check this, but I believe that after clutch putts, after a clutch putt, I believe the next one is an easy putt. So, well, must putt again using the easy level, yes. So the easy, that's the 2 6s again. So this will be for bogey, and he'll end up at +2. There's 2 5s. So that's another bogey for Hoke. And let's get through Duval's, and we'll move on to the third. So there's a 3, and then, so again, the hole dictates, and 45 means that he's in the sand with his tee shot. So we go to Golf Cam Sand, par 3, and it's a 5. So first shot 5. Is he sandy? Duval is not sandy. So struck thin, near, difficult putt for par, near the fringe, difficult putt for par. So he hasn't learned. He's going to go ahead and give this one a shot, 1-3 again, and he doesn't make it. It's a 4. So now he's got a moderate putt for bogey, 1-5, and he makes it. So 2 over par for, and that's a 4. My bad. So there's 2 holes through this. Now I'm gonna kind of pick up the pace a bit. We have 3 here. Well, I'm not going to be able to pick it up until after we do a hole where there's a significant amount of golfer dictating, and that's what's going to happen here, because number 3 is a 5 only, has the golfer control, or has the course control. So Nick Price, we roll it out, and there's a 1, and so we go to the so that means that Nick Price's card will dictate it, and we will go to the early part of the book where we have these charts. This is a par 4. So we go to the par 4 chart, and then what we do is we read off in succession from lowest to highest the other 3, which is a little more reminiscent of History Maker Baseball. So a 1-1-5 is Nick Price yeoman or scatter. That's from his tee shot. He is scatter. A duck hook to this little star-like designation, which is the gallery groans. So that's sort of that's a negative designation right here, as you can see. That'll earn Price a red chip. So the red chips are probably even more interesting, and then now we have to use the green die. It's a 5. Workman. He's not a workman. So instead, big swing sends the ball to the apron. Follow-up chip shot to the green. Difficult putt for par for Price. So he could do one of 2 things. So this is where I was going to say the red chips can be interesting, because you have to figure out a way to use these red chips before the round's over. Otherwise, you end up with a meltdown and it inflates your score. So these things can be key, because you need to find the most opportune way to use a red chip in order to minimize your what it hurts you. So like what you can do is you can add 1 level of putting. So he's got a difficult putt for par. What we could do here is you could use this chip now and say, okay, I'm going to make it double difficult, then lag and get the easy bogey putt. Or you could say, okay, I'm going to try to make this difficult par putt, and it's a 50-50 shot. He's already 2 shots ahead of his competition, and I think he's going to go ahead and do that. So he won't use that red chip yet, and he makes the putt. So par for Price. And so we will now go to Scott Hoch. So a 3 means that the golfer controls, and it's a 1-5-5. So we will go to that chart. So 1-5-5, is he a bomber or a duffer, Scott Hoch? No, he is neither of those. So then we go to the second shot. This is his iron shot. Is he a champion? No, he is not. So we now go to the what is basically similar to the right now chart for. Instead, it's they call it Golf Cam Mood, or Golf Cam Now is what they call it in this game. So similarly to History Maker Baseball, you have to make a determination as to the hot or cold nature of the golfer. Bogeys, so it takes the previous 2 holes. So you start out at neutral if you've got pars on the last 2 holes. For each birdie, you get closer to hot by 1. So if you had 2 birdies, you would be completely hot, like 2 birdies in a row. If you get 2 bogeys, you're cold, and so he is cold. A 5, is he cold? Yes. Short shot leaves too much to the green. Double difficult putt for par. Yes?
Do you want peach Carver?
Not right now. Not right now.
Peach Carver?
So a double difficult putt for par. Yes, sorry, I lost my place. So now we have to re-roll this white die with the double difficult putt for par. Again, this is the situation where Hoke, he really had very little recourse. I guess the only thing he could have done, this would have been maybe a decent place for him. He could have used the red token to give the course. Now you have to do this before you roll. Give course control automatically, and so he would have rolled this. This would have been a 15. He would have been in the rough on his first shot, but that's one option for the tokens. So, but anyway, so he is Scott Hoke. He has a double difficult putt for par. He is going to lag and accept his bogey. He's going to have 3 bogeys in a row. And so it's going to come down to Duval here now. So another one where we don't get a 6, which is fine, but the 6 has a special way that things go. But instead, the golfer controls 166. So 166 is Duval a yeoman off the tee? No. Is he currently Stormy? He hasn't hit. So you get Stormy from the mood chart, and he hasn't hit the mood chart yet. So we're going to go to experience. So he is a neutral experience guy. So just like History Maker Baseball, there's lots of these types of charts here that factor in. So, factor in like the experience, like the current state of his game, his mood. So from experience, you take the green die, the 1, par 4 prospect. No, he's not. So it'll be a gimme putt for birdie for him. So as I told you, sort of the lower the number, the easier the chance. And so he's going to get a chance here for a birdie. If you notice here, gimme birdie putt is the 6-6 miss. So we will roll it, and he gets 2 5s. That will be a birdie for Duval, so he gets a shot back. So that's 3 holes. So we haven't seen any blue dice yet, or blue chips yet. So let's see if one of those will come up here. The par 4 fourth. A friendly hole, but and the course will get much of it, so only the 1 will. And so what he will do here, Nick Price, he's going to decide to use this red chip and automatically give the course control. So we don't need to roll the white die at this point. We can just roll the others, and it's going to mean we look off of the 4-6. 4-6 is in the trees with his first shot. So let's see how he does escaping the trees on his first shot. And again, we'll go with a 1. A 1 tends to be a little bit better. So par 4, first shot. Is he a workman? Actually, what we should have done too, that's my bad. We should have had Duval lead off, but let's just go ahead and play this out as it is. Nick Price got a little. Duval was off using the porta potty, so Price is like, well, we've got people pushing up on us from the back, let's keep moving. So again, a 1, is he a workman? He is not. So otherwise we go to the wow chart. So what's the wow chart? It is right here. The golfer will get a blue chip out of this, so Price will get the blue chip, and re-roll the white die to determine the result. So we never did roll it in the first place, but and it's a 5. So loses steam at the green, but good roll, moderate putt for birdie. Okay, now he could use that blue chip to make it an easy putt for birdie. Instead, he is going to give it a shot here and hold on to that blue coin or blue chip, and it'll be a 1-2 would be a birdie make for Price. And he gets a 4, so now he re-rolls for par. It's an easy par. Needs a 6-6 to miss, and he won't. So he has parred the first 4 holes. Duval gets back from relieving himself, and he's going to go ahead and swing away. So a 5 means the course has control, 2-5. And so what we did here is Price was able to get rid of his red chip with a relatively minimal cost. Maybe if he had rolled out, he would have had a chance at a birdie for some reason, but I doubt it. And so that's kind of what you want to try to do, is find ways to minimize the cost. A little later, I'll go through exactly what you can do with these chips. But so the 5 means we go to the course, and so a 25. So it's going to be the Golf Cam course chart because of the square. And so that means we look at the 2 from the par 4. Is it cordial? No, it's friendly, not cordial. And it's not daunting. And actually, it's not friendly hole, it's friendly green. The hole can be cordial or daunting, and the green can be friendly or, what is the other one? Challenging. There you go. So, not a cordial hole, not a daunting hole. So with a 2, easy putt for par, no caution symbol. So Duval will roll for the easy putt for par. And he's going to get the 1-3, so he will make a par. And now it'll be Scott Hoch. And Hoch, he saw how it worked out there for Nick Price. He's going to do the same thing and automatically give hole 4 control. So there is a 56. He's in the weeds off the tee. And he's got a 5 on there. That could be tough. Let's see. Par 4, first shot. Is he a master? Hoch is a semi-master. Let's roll it. Okay, so he is a master. Beautiful shot from the rough. Tumbles onto the edge of the green. Missed birdie putt. Easy putt for par. So he's likely going to get away with a par here. So easy, and he makes it. So Duval's like, Nick, you jumped my shot here. I didn't appreciate that, so we're going to go to 5, and he will lead off. I think we're just going to do 9 holes because I want to try and keep it under an hour if we can. So Duval will tee off on the par 5 5th. It's an easy hole, but it's going to be tough to get to give that control to the hole. So as you can see, you need a 5 on the white die. And that's another thing you could do. You could use the blue chip to automatically give control to the course, or you could automatically give control to yourself. I think that works best if the golfer is a good golfer. Giving himself control is probably better. Although I haven't played a lot with good golfers yet, so I haven't done like Tiger Woods, who is in this set. But here we go. Oh, no. All right, let's roll this one again. I almost lost it. There we go. So the golfer will have control. It'll be a 3-4-6 on the par 5. So each hole, when it goes to the golfer's check, it's based on the number of shots. So a par 3, you have 1 check. For a par 4, you have a wood and an iron. Par 5, you have a wood and 2 irons. So it's a 3-4-6. So it's going to be on the second page. 3-4-6. Is Duval a bomber? He is a semi-bomber. So but he won't be this time. So the 3-4-6 we will now check. With an iron, is a utility? No. Is it a firm green? Well, we aren't playing. This is not a firm green. I don't think any of the greens on this course are firm. So he automatically goes to the course, or the Golf Cam green. So then we use the green die without re-rolling, as we always do here. 4, friendly green. It is a friendly green here. So with a 4, the green in regulation, great opportunity, a clutch putt for birdie. So Duval will get a chance maybe to earn a blue chip. He is neutral, so that means 1-3, as we said before. Now, if he had a blue chip now, he could turn that. He could turn himself into a gold putter. But instead, he's just going to have to stay neutral. 1-3, he will make a birdie, and it is a 6. He gets the highest of the bunch, so he will earn a red chip for missing it, and he will now have an easy putt for par. And that's a 1 and a 2, so he will make that, but opportunity lost there for David Duval. And so Nick Price, so in this case, so let's take the moment here while we're sort of at the halfway point, and so we got Nick Price going. Let's take a look at exactly what you can use these chips for. So the blue chips, I'm going to get the instruction book out so I don't miss any of them. So where you earn them, there's some things that don't come up in every round. If you're doing a tournament, which there's a whole other tournament mode for this that I'm not going to cover in this video, and I haven't even played it yet, but it looks interesting. It's going to take some time though. You could get a blue chip through the tourney day perks. This is kind of like the game day chart in History Maker Baseball. When you get gallery cheers, so we saw a gallery groans where you got a red chip. Gallery cheers, that's an excellent shot. Or from the WOW, we already gave out a blue chip for a WOW result earlier, I believe. If we didn't, then we should have. I think we did. I think that's where Price has his current blue chip. If you make a clutch putt or a double difficult putt at all, so that's where Duval, if he had made that putt because it was clutch, it used his clutch ability, he would have gotten a blue chip. And then this is where this is one we haven't seen yet. We have yet to have a 6. When you have a 6, and so I'll go through this, but you can use that to, so you have these holes that are tough, or not tough, but where the hole gets control with 1 through 5. If you roll a 6, what that would allow you to do is to say, I'm going to demonstrate patience, accept a par score, and take a blue chip in the process. So really what you're doing is just not giving yourself a chance at anything else other than par. In some cases, that's a really good thing if it's a tough hole, and so the things you can use the blue chips for, you can take control of the hole on any hole with that blue chip. Although, if it's a daunting hole, you need 2 chips for it. Okay? So that means the tougher hole, it's going to cost you more. And that's one reason why it can be good to accumulate these chips as opposed to spending them right away. And it's also a good reason why demonstrating patience might be a good tactic, because it would allow you to start stockpiling these blue chips, and you can use those to try and skirt tougher holes later on. You can give the control to the hole if you want. So, like it says here, could be an option if it's an easy hole. So if you see, like this guy here is double cordial with a friendly green, you might want to, you can see that almost all of them are relatively friendly slots here, as opposed to, you only have 4 of these here. Now, granted, we all know based on the additive properties of these dice, or not additive, but the combinations, that these are the least likely to be hit, and you're gonna, you have a greater likelihood the further back you go. But you have, these are less likely on the easy hole. So you could pay a blue chip in and say, I'm going to give control to the hole because it's going to benefit me because it's easy. You could make a normal putt down. You could make it easy. Well, for normal putting, you could take a moderate putt and make it easy. You could take an easy putt, make it a gimme. You could make difficult to moderate. You basically upgrade it. Well, maybe downgrade is the right word. You would downgrade it to an easier putt, but you can only move it 1 level. Or you could increase it. You could increase the clutch putting ability. So I was wrong. 1 level. From rust to semi-rust. Or no, rust to neutral. Oh, I was right before. 1 full putting level. Rust to neutral, semi-rust to semi-gold. Neutral to gold. Yada yada. You can also purchase, and this is one that's a little more nuanced, an automatic black die 1 or 6, which those are more favorable for the golfer. They can be. Red chips, you get those, again, tourney day, that's like the game day stuff. We're not going to cover that here. The gallery groans, we already saw Actually, we got a red. There was a red chip that was given for Gallery Groans, or the Ono, which is similar to the WoW except the polar opposite, and missing the clutch, or a gimme putt. So let's say you have a gimme putt here, and you throw 3 6s on a gimme par, you're going to get a red chip. Now, again, what you need to do is you need to use these strategically. You can give control to the hole. Give control of the hole to the hole. Or to the course, that's what it says here. So basically, it can hurt you to do that, but on the other hand, it's one way you can use it in a way that might benefit you, as opposed to having to be on the final green, and in order to use that red chip you forgot to play, you've got to make your easy par putt moderate and introduce a level of uncertainty to your roll. Like I said, you can increase the putt difficulty 1 level, or reduce your clutch putting ability down a level for that 1 putt. And you can purchase an automatic black die 6. So, again, those are a little more nuanced, and I have to investigate that a little bit more. So, in any regard, Nick Price decides it's really difficult to get the hole control on this course. So I'm going to, on this hole, because there's only the 5, I'm going to go ahead and give it to it. And so let's see what happens here. So it is a 46, and guess what? He ends up in the rough. So this is where, like I said, even though you use a strategy to try to help you, and it seems like it could be good, it doesn't always work out that way. So he's in the rough. So we go to the course, or the Golf Cam rough on a par 5, and he is in the rough on the first shot. So, and we look at number 3. Is Nick Price a workman? He is not. So, beautiful blast from behind the obstruction to the center of the fairway on the green in 3, a moderate putt for birdie. So he's going to have a decent attempt here for bird. And so the moderate birdie putt is a 1-2. Okay. Now, it was a chance to give the hole control. You know, he may have gotten the 5 on that roll anyway if he'd rolled the white die, and so he cost himself. He would have, if he had done that and gone through the same exact checks, he would have been able to use that blue chip to make the birdie putt go from moderate to easy, and he would increase from a 33% to a 66% chance of making it. But let's say that he tries to make this moderate birdie putt 1-2, and he misses it. So now it'll be an easy putt for par. 6 needs 6s, and he misses that. Now that wasn't a gimme putt, but he gets double 6s. He is going to 3-putt this green. So now he has a gimme putt for bogey, and so he takes a 6 on an easy par 5, and he is none too happy about that. So anyway, that'll be Hoke now here on the 5th. He doesn't have any chips. So it's going to be the golfer controls at 1-2-6. And I got to find the chart here. That's one of the things about these games that you have to deal with, is that there's a lot of chart movement in these books. 1-2-6. Is it a dynamic? Is he dynamic? No, he is not with the woods. Or is it a direct green? No, it is not. So we go over here. Is he gilded? Hoke is gilded. So yes, well placed shot short of the green. Now, so here we go to the flag icon, which is the short game. And let me see. Yeah, so it's the flag and not the little. There's a flag and then there's a little arrow down. But so we go with, again, the green die. It's a 6. Short game. Is he stone on the short game, on the recovery? No, he is not. So flawed shot, misread green. So it's going to be a difficult putt for par. So given Hoke's abilities, or somewhat lack thereof, he is going to have a tough putt for par. And it was, let me refresh, difficult. Difficult par putt is a 50% chance, 1-3, and he does not make it. So he will now have a Moderate bogey putt, 1 to 5, and he makes that. And so a couple bogeys on this hole. Hoke starts out rough, 4 over, 1 over for Price. Duval is at 1 over par. So you've got Price and Duval tied going into the 6th. So let's keep moving here. Hi, Herb. Yeah, there's this is just a friendly, kind of an introductory round for the people of this channel. No a real attempt to make it some kind of money on the line for anybody. But so let's get this played out here. Duval, he still has a red chip to use. He's going to go ahead and just let it ride here. 4 or 5 means, and it's going to be the hole, or the course controls it here. 15, he's going to be in the rough with his first shot. So let's see if Duval can navigate the rough on this par 4. So the 2 from the first shot rough, is he a master? No, he is not a master. So otherwise, he's going to burst out of the rough to the far edge of the green, misses a long birdie putt, a moderate second putt for par. So moderate is 1 to 5. He is going to go ahead and try that. Doesn't want a 6, and he doesn't get it, so he will par it. So figured he would use that red chip somewhere else. Red is bad, so you don't want to downgrade your putt there when you have a 5 out of 6 chance. Here is Price. Golfer control 1, 3, 4 on the par 4. So 1, 3, 4 is a direct green. No, it isn't. So what it means by a direct green, that is a short hole basically. So a hole that could be reached from the tee. And so you'll find that on a 300-yard par 4, we'll say, or par 5s that are under 525 maybe yardage. So is he a hacker? This is Price. No, he's not a hacker. So it'll go to his experience, and he is an icon, so that his experience should help him here. 4 on a par 4. Is he an icon? Yes, he is. Draws on experience to shape shot to the course. Expertly done. Easy putt for birdie. He's going to have a chance here to take the lead. Easy putt for birdie is a 1 to 4, and he misses. Some shaky putting here on the round. It'll be now a gimme putt for par. He gets to roll 3 dice. Needs 3 6s to miss it, and he will make it. So golden opportunity there for him to take the lead in this round over his pals here, Hoke and Duval. And so it'll be Hoke. See if he can climb back into this. A 1 again means that it'll be Hoke's. Hoke will dictate how this goes. 3, 5, 6. Is he scatter? No. He's not puny either. So is he a champion with the irons? No, he's not. So, but he's on the green. So let's go to golf Cam Green, and we go to a 3 on a par 4. Is it a challenging green? No, it's friendly. So solid approach, it's an easily red green, great opportunity, clutch putt for birdie. We've had some clutch putts here that have been missed. All these guys are neutral putting, so they're all going to be 1 to 3. And if he had a blue chip, he could play it, and that would make him gold for this putt. But he's going to try it here. 50% chance. And he misses. So now an easy putt for par, and he makes that. So everybody pars that hole. We'll go to 7. Another par 4, same order. Duval was he parred on that par 5 that could have been a birdie opportunity for guys. So Duval already has significant opportunity for the hole to take over. So what he's going to do here is he's going to get fancy, and he wants to use this red chip for something else. He's going to purchase an automatic black die 6. So let's put this over here, and now he's going to leave it up to the wind here to see what happens. And it will be a 5, so the hole will control it. The course will control it, excuse me, and it will be a 4-6. So he's going to be in the rough on his second shot. So this strategy may not have played out too well for Duval. So a 3 on the second shot rough. Is he a workman? No, his recovery's not a workman. Crisp swing, nice loft, gimme putt for par. So that's what he likes to see. He'll take a par on this hole any day of the week, and he will get it. So after having to use a red chip, he'll take a par. Nick Price. So the course dictates 2-6. He is going to go to the Golf Cam course chart, and he's going to have a 2. So this could actually work out pretty well for Price here. Looking to try and get the lead. Par 4, is it a cordial hole? No, it's not. It's not daunting either, so it'll be an easy putt for par. So the easy putt is anything other than 6s, and that's fine. And so here's Hoke. He really needs to kind of get his act together here. He may have to take a chance if he can get it, but it's going to be a 2-3, which he's in the sand with his second shot, the green side bunker. And we have a 5, so is he sandy? Hoke is not sandy. Plenty of sand, but not enough go. Ball trickles edge of the green. Difficult putt for par. So he is struggling here. 4 out of 6 bogeys. And so what is it? Did I say difficult? Yeah, just difficult. Putt for par. Which means that will be a 1-3. Haven't got a lot of low rolls here on the white die when it comes to these, but let's see. And he doesn't make that, so now it will be an easy bogey putt. 6-6 would... Or wait, no, it would be... I messed up. We could still use the white die. It's a moderate putt for bogey, 1-5, and he will be able to get that. So that'll be another bogey for Hoke. We're going to go to the 8th. No more chips have been earned either way. Did somebody have a clutch putt? I feel like someone missed a... Oh, that's where Duval got his. So this is a par 3, and the hole is going to dictate, or the course is going to dictate this hole almost every time. So here is Duval will have the honor. 16 will be in the rough off the tee. Nope, I went the wrong way in the book. So, rough off the tee with a 1 on the, right, so that was a, 16. So, is he a workman? No, he is not. So that'll be a tremendous lift, pinpoint accuracy, pin. All right, the best thing to do is to use this chart here, this mini chart. We re-roll the white die to determine what happens. This has a chance of going in. So let's re-roll this and get these guys out of the way. It's a 6 though, so it's going to be stop, stop. Rolls too far, it's a difficult putt for par. So a bad stroke of luck here for Duval. And so he's going to have a difficult putt, 1-3, and he misses. So now a moderate bogey putt, and he will make that. But it's going to be a 4 that he didn't need. He falls out of the lead after it's going to go back to +2. Falls out of a tie for the lead, I should say. So Nick Price. It's going to be 46. He's in the sand off the tee. And so, let's see. Is he sandy? Nick Price is not sandy. Digs deep to send the ball onto the green, barely. Difficult putt for... Double difficult putt for par. Okay, he will... Well... He is going to accept the fact that he is going to miss that double difficult putt for par, and so he'll take an easy putt for bogey by lagging, and he gets it. So If you miss the early parts of that, if you have a double difficult or a difficult, you can lag it and get, so double difficult moves to easy, difficult moves to gimme. So double difficult putt for par, your chances are 1 in 6 of making it. If you miss that, you end up with a 50-50 shot at bogey. If instead you lag, you end up with an easy bogey putt, which is a 6. You need to roll double sixes to miss it. So that's a good trade-off for situations where you are. I mean, now if he were behind, like let's say in Scott Hoch's position, he may try to make the double difficult putt, because if he does, he would also earn a blue chip in the process. But here is Hoch. So that's a 6. Okay, so he has a chance to either go. So what this means is that it's a. Well, the whole point of the 6 is on the par 4 or par 5, you would re-roll something. Or no, you wouldn't re-roll. You would use the green die roll. On a case par 3, you could actually see what would happen. He would end up with a double difficult putt for birdie here. Or what he could do is he could play it safe. And this is that where I was telling you, if you play it safe, you get a blue chip, but you get a gimme putt for par, which is almost it's a gimme. So what would be best in this situation? The double difficult putt for birdie. He figures he doesn't have much to lose here. He is going to give it a shot. So he needs to roll the decider die and the white die for a double difficult birdie putt. You can see here, and he needs a 1 and the dot showing. So he is far behind. He needs every help he can get, and he gets the decider die but a 3, so he misses that. So that brings up a difficult putt for par, 1 to 3, and he makes it. So Hoch will take the honors for the 9th, and this will be our last hole as we are just pushing past the hour mark here. All right, so nobody has any chips, so that's going to be a fine way to end it here. This is a par 5 with the golfer will control most of these. And there's a 3, so a 1, 4, 6. Let's get through this real quick. So, is he a legend or a bomber? He's a semi-legend. Let's roll the. So he is not going to be a legend here. So is he a champion with the irons? No. Is he a hacker with the irons? No. So it's going to be his experience. He is an icon. So we go to the Golf Cam experience chart, and it's a 4. So on a par 5, 4. Is he an icon? Yes, he is. Tips the cap to the cheering gallery after the third shot rolls near the pin. Easy putt for birdie. So Hoch has had a rough day of it. He is going to accept an easy putt for birdie. 1 to 4, and he will end it in style, and he makes it. So a 4, and let's see. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4. So I think that's a 40 he will have. Now David Duval. Let's see how he finishes his round. Quick 9-hole round. It'll be the golfer in a 5, 6, 6. It's a high roll. I'll double check the scores after I'm done here. 5, 6, 6. Is Duval a legend? No, he is not. Or wait, 5, 6, 6. No, he's not a legend. Is he a hacker with the irons? No. Semi-champion with the irons. So let's roll this to see if he is a champion. Yes, he is. Dead on iron shot. Drops near the pin. Easy putt for birdie. So here we go. Easy putt for him. 1 to 4 will be a birdie. And he makes it. So Duval closes out with a birdie, +1. So even, +1. So a 37. Finishes at, let me see, -1, even, -1, even. So a 36 on the front. He'll be 1 over. Price is 2 over. He needs to match Duval's birdie in order to not screw up his Calcutta here, whatever you call that, in It's not Calcutta. It's the maybe it is. Having trouble remembering my terminology. I don't play golf very much anymore. So again, it will be the course. It's a 4-5-6. So we go to the green microchart. So he's going to have a good shot at picking up the birdie and tying. Let's see if on a par 5, is it a 5? Is it a friendly green? It is a friendly green. Amazing recovery from early trouble. Clutch putt for birdie. Well, he's not a clutch putter, so he is neutral. 1-3, he will make it, and Ty Duval, he will, if he misses it, Duval will come out on top. And he misses it, so instead it'll be an easy par putt, and he makes that. So we've got -1 plus +1 plus 2, 38. The price, so that's how the front 9 will finish, and that's all they had time for. They have the wives coming over for drinks at the clubhouse, and they got held up a little bit on the course, so they had some dude come out and narrate what they were doing, and they got somewhat annoyed by it, but all in all, they would have liked to have scored better, but maybe next time. So, and that's what you do. So there are lots of aspects to this game that we didn't get a chance to show. We didn't do any mood stuff. We didn't have a whole lot of short game rolls. And but what I'll probably do is come out and play another 9 later in the week or on the weekend as another sort of tutorial. As you can kind of get a feel for to play it. It shouldn't take it. I mean, it definitely wouldn't take you as long as I'm playing. If you want to just play a quick 18, get it done in about an hour or so. If you're just playing on your own, these designations here have to do with tournament mode. Just a way to build the leaderboard where you aren't rolling out everybody's score, because as you can see here. I believe this is half of the deck here, and we've got a lot of the Lucas Glovers on the top there. You can see there are a lot of players to choose from, and I have a second one in my box there that gives you 100 and some odd players to be able to play a tournament with. So you aren't going to be able to play all those out. So that's that. Anybody who's coming in a little late, please, hopefully you catch the next one of these. Leave comments in the for the video. I would love to answer questions about the way it plays. Golf, I believe, is a lot of randomness. It can be, you could go out and play a round. I could go out and play around and shoot a high 70s one day, and then the next day be in the have a struggle breaking 100. So. That's kind of the way it is, and I think it's similar here. I think you do get. I've played several. What I started to do, I guess I could show you this. This is sort of my test rounds that I played. Just a sample of them, and I also played one with my son. He actually got a kick out of it. So, just to say, it's not necessarily the age that's a big. You don't have to worry about it. I think even for kids, this may be some fun. But so I took Trevor Immelman. Excuse me. I swear I'm sober as a rock. Tom Lehman. I believe this was J.P. Howell. Forget. I don't think it's Charles Howell III. I'm drawing a blank. And Joe Durant. And I played him out 3 rounds here at Kapalua. I have yet the other course that you get in this is Augusta, and I'm trying not to play it for some reason. I think because I feel it's a very hallowed course. But anyway, Immelman won the first one, -1. Or no, he didn't. Howell got a -2 score, a 71 on the par 73 to take the first round. Immelman was -1, Lehman +1, and Durant +2. Then we got to the second round. Joe Durant actually came in and scored a 70, and I believe that was at ties for the best round I played at Kapalua. Actually, he matched that the third day, another 70. He actually had quite an up and down round here, as you can see in there. But you see Howell and Lehman both had even pars, while Emmelman ended up with a +1 after having the -1. And like I said, Durant went -3. Howell, might be David Howell. You notice here in the first round he had a -2. This one he ballooned to an 80. That's +7. So you can just see that you can get some wild scores. He was hitting some really bad stuff here. He had a double bogey on 1, a double bogey on 2. He had a 7, and I wasn't really like taking. But if you start getting in the rough and you get some bad rolls and some bad combos, look out. Let me see. I'm trying to find some of the just to try and demonstrate what can happen here. The gallery groans are especially cruel at times. Like if he's a workman, you get a moderate putt for bogey here. That's where you can start to really, especially if you do it early in the round, you don't have any chips to play to try and help you dig out of it. So, all right. So that's just a sample of what this is about. Like I said, I'd like to try tourneys. I will say that there's an account out there, Kiefer Fairbanks, that has a bunch of stuff on tournament play already. And so if you want to check that out and see how he ran a tournament, I think most of his videos are like 3 holes at a time. So that is the kind of thing that happens in this. And so I've really been trying to decide how best to present this game as far as like tournament mode goes. I think what you would probably want to do is similar to what they do on the broadcast, which is, or what they used to do in the 80s on the broadcast, pick it up around hole 12 or 13 and do the final 6 or 7 groups, which is really the way that tournament mode plays, and play them out, and hopefully you get it in within an hour or an hour and a half. So I'm going to sign off here. So hopefully this gives you an idea of the game. Questions are welcome in the comments. I will try to answer them. Good night, everybody. Thanks for following this and checking this game out. I want to thank Keith at play.com for making this game available to me, getting it to me very quickly, and I'm looking forward to purchasing a couple other courses because, again, I'm a little hesitant to play Augusta, but he has course packages out there that I believe are maybe 4 in a pack, and so I've got to see which ones I want most of all. I think I got to get one with Pebble Beach. I remember playing that one on Tiger Woods and in Lynx LS on the computer. So thanks a lot, guys. I'll be back most likely tomorrow night with another Stratomatic baseball game. So just wanted to take a little break here to do this and try to make sure I got this in because I really just wanted to get this out here to show all of you. So thanks a lot. Check out the game at plaay.com if you're interested in this, if golf is your thing. And I'm telling you, apologies for that. I had a phone call. I'm using my phone here. So anyway, I guess that means it's time to sign off. Thanks a lot for watching, and God bless, and have a great night.